everybody, welcome once again to Fab's Music Cafe. Today we have another great guest, dear friend of mine, guitar wonderful, super. I call him the Energizer Bunny because this guy is like, dude, you cannot, even if you unplug him, it just keeps on going and going and going. The wonderful, fabulous Mr. Derek Day. How's it going, Derek?
Hey, Fabrizio, thanks for having me on this awesome show. I am very happy and energized to be here.
See, this is just like him after all day being at
Yeah.
home. Okay, cool. Okay, so actually, how do you cope being at home and not being able to do everything that we normally do in our life in these days?
Oh man, there's a lot of man. Well, I'm still figuring that out. I'm sure we all are. I'm kind of like I do try to. I wish I could say I exercise, but not as much as I used to because I usually go out to do that. But just constant. What I've been doing is just writing a lot at home, and I just got this new interface. It's not new; it's like a used one. But I finally get to like focus more on my artistic side of craft. Before it was just all promotion and shows and all that. So now I'm just taking that energy and throwing it into like experimentation,
That's
time
great.
signatures. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Well, guys, if you do not know, if you haven't heard about Derek Day, I'm really suggesting you to check him out. DerekDay.com is his website. This guy is just absolutely incredible. I mean, he is a singer from a Los Angeles band called Careless Act. Alice Act, of course. And they're finishing the first record. We do not know yet when it's going to be released, but you know, look out for that. But in addition, is the lead singer, lead guitar player for his own band, and he collaborates and he plays with a lot of different people. Just throughout the last few years, he opened up for Steve Vai during his Passion and Warfare celebration tour. He played for Living Colors, Ted Nugent, and for a magnitude of other artists. You know, wherever there is live music and whatever you hear that it's loud but it's good, you can be sure that it's either playing or it was just there like a couple of minutes ago. No, I'm just, you know, it's a great thing about all us musicians and friends. We get to know each other at the different levels and stuff, and we're like a very, very big fan of each other. Doesn't matter where we live, whenever we have the opportunity to catch each other's up performing, is always a treat. And again, with a bunch of very good friends here in town, whenever Derek is putting up a show, there is always somebody going and just, you know, cheering up because it's the new thing. You know, like I said, you know, it's a really cool thing. So what are you doing? What are you working on? Obviously, your band's debut record is a little bit on hold right now because nobody knows what the hell is going to happen. You said that you're keeping busy now writing, and are you? Give us something. Give us some insight.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I since before this whole crazy thing happened, we released a song called "Another Day" music video. The music video for "Another Day," the name of the song, and the thing with that song is I recorded it like a year ago, and I actually recorded a bunch of tunes like a while ago. Not a bunch, but just like a little handful. So I'm actually I'm thinking of either finishing that and releasing it as an EP, but right now I'm releasing singles. So I have a couple of tunes that like kind of working on just how to release them, actually. I'm just thinking when and how. So yeah, stuff is coming out for sure from my own personal trio. And other than that, I'm having a bunch of Zoom sessions, writing sessions. It's been kind of weird with my band, Classless Act, but also with dudes from, you know, like Keith Nelson from Buck Cherry, you know, like every here and there, someone here and there, just to test waters, just to see like what it's going to sound like, just see what we can get. But yeah, writing, it's just writing and walking my dogs and
around the park.
around my house. They're closing parks now, which is like bullshit, man. Like there's a park right near my house.
I know, but you know, we have the same thing up here in Santa Clarita. I mean, we're next to the mountain, but yeah, unfortunately, safety first. Well, let me ask you something more for like the music fan that wanted to get a little bit more into what you're doing. Derek is fairly young, okay, but musically wise, I mean, it's been really kicking ass. We can say this. There's no censorship here. It's been kicking ass for a long time. Now, even though you're like fairly young and everything, I know that you like a bunch of older dudes when it comes down to music too. Can you give us just a couple of quick ideas? Not like, we don't need like a top 10 list of all your favorite guitar players, but of musicians. I might give me like 3 or 4 musicians that are really, really important to you. Not only because of the guitar, but because they helped you or they inspire you to do music or to listen to music the way you're doing it now, and why. Each one of them. Just give me like, again, 2 or 3 guys like that, or girls, whatever it is. Just please, because I want the people out there to get to know you a little bit more.
Of course, one artist for his voice and what he did with it was Ray Charles, just because he had like a really modern voice for that time, and he was just like really crazy. Stevie Wonder, same vein, not for Stevie Wonder's voice, but he was 26 when he released Songs in the Key of Life.
I know.
That's my age. I'm like, God damn, like he wrote Contusion, like for his artistic weird left brain. I'm like, how the hell did you do that at 26? There's guy, everyone, like, of course, David Bowie for his, chameleon-like styles. And Tom Waits is a huge influence. It's someone I've been listening to like forever. Tom Waits, just how he experiments, even early Tom Waits with the piano ballads. I'm like, wow, like it's just so honest. And I'm like, I guess all of these artists are just, well, Ray Charles is like, be cool, be like passionate but cool. Stevie Wonder was like, really use your voice and really go out there. Tom Waits is like, Bowie was like, be yourself. Tom Waits is like be honest. So I'll say these are like my top 4 or 5. And Steve Vai for his guitar. I think he's the greatest guitar player ever. So like, I'm just like, okay, cool. So
I'll make sure that he watches this bit. So
please, yeah. Come on, Vai, come on. But yeah, I've been so honored. I got to like perform with Vai, for a couple things, and I was like, being on stage with him is like, whoa, it's like heavy and stuff. And I actually got to do a song with Living Color too, and like I heard like Living Color is a major influence. After that tour, I was like diving into them, and their latest album, Shade, is like, whoa, this is really like modern, and like they're such chameleons, or they grow with the times. I'm like, this is insane. Like,
oh, dude, they were groundbreaking. I remember, I mean, you probably were not even around when their first record, Vivid, came out. That was a smash, because I mean, that was like in the midst of all the air band, and I was just like young teenager kid listening to anything. I mean, of course, I always liked the classics, but then was the time of Guns N' Roses and a bunch of the metal, hair metal band, however you want to call them. And all of a sudden, these guys come out, and I was instantly drawn to them, because they had everything that I liked about music that it was not getting expressed around them. It's funny because all the elements that they had were very common in bands from the late 60s and in the 70s. And then the 80s came and kind of like washed away all of that. And now you're getting these guys that all of a sudden were like funky as hell, very depth and bluesy, but not in a blues way, but more like in a adult, almost punk soul. What if that can represent that? But and obviously Vernon. I mean, you got a guy. I mean, just like taking Jimi Hendrix band with Miles Davis in it, because I mean, he's playing. I used to see him when I used to live in New York, in the Village and stuff, and he will do all this crazy stuff that you would not even think. Oh, this guy plays in a rock band. What the hell? And the songwriting, because the songs were like super catchy, but there was this like a really, really, really soul dirty. That was something that I think was missing in the music from them. And they've been able to keep that element all the way till today. It was just amazing how, a band can, really just working and growing with the time, being able to maintain such a pure, pure contact, a connection to their origin. I think it was just really fantastic, really good.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Yeah, their stuff it's crazy.
Cool. So, I mean, you're going to be doing something for us later, and, you guys can check out on the link and everything you just followed. Derek is going to put together a one-man band like he generally does, because when he plays on stage, I mean, nobody, I mean, that's, you look at him, you don't look at anybody else. I mean, if you can keep the eyes on. And
Yeah.
it's putting something very, very cool and special for us and for you. And hopefully you guys gonna get to know him and like him as much as we do. I have one more question before we switch to and we invite everybody to the performance.
Okay.
Once all this like house arrest, quarantine, however you want to call it, all this is done. The moment that I will be able to give you a call and say, hey, yo, D, you know what? It's over. We can go out. Just open the door. We can go out. Have you ever thought about what you're going to be doing? The first thing that you're going to be doing?
Oh, that's a great question.
I know I work on it for a long time.
Yeah, I'm like, damn it, I should have thought of it. Wow, man, I think, man, that's hard to tell because I've actually kind of been enjoying being like a hermit. I kind of like being away from people, like recording stuff. But I think the first thing I want to do is go to the 3rd Street Promenade on Santa Monica and just plug in. I have a permit. Just start playing live.
I know, that's how I met you guys. If you don't know, there's a street in Santa Monica that is like a promenade where people walk with stores and they're like street performers. I met this guy when he was barely 17 and he was singing and screaming like in the street, playing like he was playing in front of 15,000 people. And the funny thing, when he does play in front of 15,000 people, it's just still the same. That's fantastic. Anyways, thank you so much, Derek, for keep us company. Thank you guys for tuning in once again to Fab's Music Cafe. Please make sure you check out Derek's performance. That's the way that you can really support the artist and the arts in this dire time. And Derek, just say hi to our fans and I'll see you guys later.
Thank you so much, everyone. I will see you in the future.